caramel popcorn. The first thing you want to do is pour in 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And this is an Orville Redenbacher popper. Then 3/4 cups of popcorn kernels. Cover your oil popcorn popper, oil-based popcorn popper, then plug it in. It will take about 2 to 3 minutes for the kernels to start popping. And you'll need 2 batches of this amount of oil and popcorn kernels for the caramel corn. Notice I don't have the cover up here. You want to leave it off. In fact, if you're just popping popcorn to eat popcorn, don't put the butter on top. Otherwise, as it drips and melts, it's going to burn. So you'll have to melt the butter separately and pour it over your popped corn at the end. You can see it's starting to pop, and I actually have the machine on my stove. As it steams, you can turn on your fan. My kids love watching this. So, you know, you can pop this in a regular pot with a cover, but it's more fun and more efficient to do it in a popcorn popper. It'll just take a few seconds here to finish up. And then I'll unplug the machine once it's done. Alright, that's good. I flipped the bowl over to my counter, and you'll see you're just going to need a couple of pieces of napkins to clean this out over the sink and pop another batch of popcorn. You can see I have 3 pans filled with 2 batches of popcorn, and this is the rectangular cake pan set you can purchase at your local craft store or your super center, and they have to be 2 inches deep because we're going to mix the popcorn with the peanuts and the caramel. In the pot I have 2 sticks or half a pound of unsalted sweet cream butter. We're going to add 2 cups of light brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a half cup of light corn syrup. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat on to medium. Let this come to a boil, stirring it occasionally. Once it boils, we'll clean the sides of the pan or the pot with the rubber spatula and let it boil unstirred for 5 minutes. The heat goes on and everything will start to melt together. It's starting to boil a little bit, so I'm going to give it a quick stir. Just to incorporate. Remember to preheat your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, it's come to a boil, so I'm going to give it 1 stir and then clean off the sides of the pan. And let it boil. Drop the heat halfway between low and medium And we'll let this boil for 5 minutes without stirring. We are down to the last 45 seconds of boiling. You can see how dark the caramel is. And of course you have your ½ teaspoon of baking soda measured and ready to go, your peanuts ready to go, and your popcorn waiting. I have the pot off to the side, ½ teaspoon of baking soda, and give it a stir. I love these rubber spatulas where they're one whole piece instead of a wooden handle and a separate rubber end. So stir this nicely, get it all of the baking soda incorporated. Okay, and it's ready to pour. I'm going to work with the first 2 large pans, saving some of this caramel for the smaller pan. I have 1 cup of peanuts that I'll just distribute to the 3 pans. Save a little bit for the end. And as you mix the caramel, you can transfer between to better combine them. There. And with another spatula, we'll just combine. I have a can of nonstick spray at the side, and remember that you have to spray your pans with nonstick spray as well, so the popcorn and caramel don't stick to it. Once the caramel is cool enough to the touch, I'm going to spray my hands with the nonstick spray and use my hands to mix this. It's a lot easier to combine it with your hands and fingers. It's a little messy, but it works. Finished the big one, the big pans. Now we'll work on the small one. You want to work quickly but thoroughly, making sure you don't have large chunks of caramel left on the covering the popcorn. Re-spray your hands if necessary. When this goes into the oven, it will melt a little bit and you can mix it better. And eventually it will harden. The caramel and the popcorn will harden. And this treat, wow, that's hot. Whew, stays crunchy for at least 2 weeks. Inside freezer storage bags or mason jars. Here I have the top pan pushed all the way to the back of the oven and the bottom pans pulled all the way to the front just to help dry the popcorn out more evenly. So you can see the sugar has melted some. Gives you another opportunity to distribute the caramel more evenly. If you see any big chunks, you can break them apart. Now this is the top pan. I'm going to put it on the bottom rack this time. You want to alternate top to bottom and front to back. So I'll pull this pan to the front, push the other pans to the back. The caramel popcorn has baked for about an hour and a half. You can see, or you can hear rather, how dry it is. It's quite delicious. Hey, the crunch, yum. You want to let this cool completely before you store them in mason jars or Ziploc freezer bags.